Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that had a deep conviction. And that conviction was about their relationship with their mother in childhood. And their belief system was that the lack of understanding, the lack of connection, the lack of love from their mother in childhood had led them to have certain undesirable coping strategies in the present. Their belief system was that as a result of having a mother that wasn't really there, didn't really care, and wasn't very supportive or inquisitive about their life, then meant that they were constantly having this desire to prove their worth and to deserve love and attention, particularly from women. So in this hypnosis session, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that utilizes a combination of regression but also inner child work. And it goes back further than the life of this individual because this client's mother was abandoned when she was very young. So their own mother didn't really have a mother figure. And this is one of the things that can lead to generational cycles of patterns repeating over several generations. So it starts with actually going back further in time to observing what the impact could be for a young child where their mother leaves. Now, their mother may have left for very good reasons, but it's highly likely that that child, which was the mother of the client, had feelings of abandonment, maybe anger, maybe felt that they weren't worthy, but also they didn't have any guidance or role model as to how to be a mother themselves. So that creates the possibility of a new perspective. And then what we can do is we can play around with time. So I use a metaphor of a tesseract. A tesseract is a four-dimensional cube. Now, it's very difficult to understand what the fourth dimension would be like because we live in a three-dimensional world. So the tesseract is a useful metaphor to introduce this idea of movement through time. And in that movement through time, assuming that there are different realities and different possibilities in different realities, what would have happened if their mother had a very supportive, loving upbringing and all those qualities that they really wanted in their childhood? Well, in this alternate reality, this client got to experience them. And it was designed to create a feeling of his experiences were as a result of his own childhood. And if that childhood had have been different, then a lot of those patterns wouldn't need to be there. And it's useful to have the belief system. You are not your thoughts, you are not your beliefs, and a lot of these beliefs and thoughts that we have are as a result of circumstances, not your core identity. So there's a lot going into this session. And I think anyone that had a tough upbringing, maybe they didn't have a great relationship with their mother, or maybe didn't know their mother or parent or parental figure, will be able to get some value from this session. Of course, it was created for an individual, so some of the references are going to be entirely unique to this individual. But keep an open mind because you might find that there are things in this session that are useful for you. And if you are interested in something a bit more bespoke and unique for you, based entirely around you, there will be a link in the show notes to learn more about me or to schedule a free consultation call. But for now, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in, just imagine that you're breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, I want you to get a sense that feelings of any stress and tension or worry are just leaving your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice that your eyelids are getting heavier and heavier, and your focus is going inwards. You're still aware of the sound of my voice, but your attention is going inwards. You have a powerful ability to create vivid scenarios in your mind. You can escape the real world and go inwards, imagining things just in your imagination that create real feelings, real ideas. And I want you to bring forward that part that knows how to do that better than any other part. The part that can create fantasies and turn them into realities inside your own mind. To create scenarios in your imagination and to feel like they're almost real. And when I'm communicating to that part, the part that can activate and harness that vivid imagination, let me know by nodding your head. In fact, I want you to think of a recent vivid imagination. Perhaps something as early as this morning or a few days ago. I want you to see the richness of the colours, the movement. Maybe it's so vivid it looks like you've got a 4K TV inside your own imagination. Or maybe you just get a sense of what's going on. But you'll know if it's 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional. You know, if it's colour or black and white. But if it feels like it's real, that you can see things almost like they really are, that it's in colour, maybe looking at things through your own eyes, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine that this is the interface between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. And what if your unconscious mind knows about your past? What if your unconscious mind knows about your fears and insecurities? What if your unconscious mind knows what you need, and knows that if you can't get it in one way, maybe it will give it to you in a different way. But I want you to imagine pausing this movie inside your imagination and rewinding it. Feel like everything's happening backwards. And I wonder what would happen if you rewound it so far backwards you can see yourself as a child. See yourself as a child, maybe just 4 or 5 or 6 years old. And I want you to observe the interaction that you had with your mother. Was she there for you? Did she care about how your day was? Notice the things she did for you, but also notice what wasn't there. Maybe she did gestures. She gave you certain things you needed, maybe food or clothes. But maybe she wasn't there for other things. I want you to imagine playing this movie forward like you're seeing a movie from your childhood. Like someone back then had an old camcorder and you're watching the footage. Seeing yourself as a child. Seeing your mother as she was. And I want you to play detective and figure out what was missing. And who knows? Maybe because of your mother's own experiences, there was an intention to take an interest, but she didn't know how. People's brains are wired differently. Some people are naturally expressive and caring. Other people, they're a closed book. And I want you to observe your mother as how she actually was. And you can skip forwards and backwards in time to all the most significant parts of your childhood. And just ask yourself the question, was this as a mother that understood? Was this a mother that helped, encouraged, supported? Or was it a relationship based on conflict, like arguments, coercion, or control? And I want you to ask yourself a question not aimed at you, but aimed at your unconscious mind. Do you believe that there was something missing in your childhood that is somehow responsible for issues and health conditions that you experience in the present? And if so, let me know by nodding your head. And do you know what that thing was that was missing? Yeah. I want you to get a sense that it's not possible to change the past. The past is behind, the future is in front. Because we exist in a three-dimensional world where time only moves forward. But I want you to entertain an idea. What would a two-dimensional drawing think of a three-dimensional world? And I want you to get a sense that you're a three-dimensional being. But what if there was a fourth dimension, that time was something that could be navigated? That you could walk backwards in time and forwards in time. You could just arrive at any point in time. I want you to create an image in your mind of a straight line. A straight line is just one dimension. Maybe turn that into a square. And that straight line is now two-dimensional. It can go across, but it can now go up and down. And just in your mind, turn that square into a cube. That cube is now three-dimensional. It can go sideways, up and down, but also outwards. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine what would happen if that cube became four-dimensional. A four-dimensional cube is called a Tesseract. Every side has the fourth dimension of time. And I want you to imagine that in your imagination, you can harness the fourth dimension. That things were how they were. But what if you could change things the way you wanted them to have been. I want you to think of those qualities that you would have liked to have had as a child. Compassion, understanding, someone that cared for you, someone that was there to give you a hug when you needed it, to listen to your troubles, that would be there for you no matter what. If you found yourself in trouble, they were there. If you're going through tough times, they were there. That no matter what would happen, they would never abandon you. Always be there for you. And I want you to imagine in this fourth dimension, you could go back in time so far that you imagine a mother that was never abandoned. Imagine a mother that had all those things that she needed. Someone to hug her, to understand her, to cry to be listened to. Go back so far back in time that you can see an alternative future where your mother had a mother that really cared. And I want you to imagine you follow her timeline so that she was somehow different, not bitter, not angry, full of love, encouragement, praise, support. And imagine years later, she then has a child. But she's lived a life where someone was there for her. And it's now in her instincts, her intuition, to be that person for her child. I want you to observe your childhood as if you had a mother with all of those qualities. Someone that hugged their son every day, that could read their facial expressions when they were worried or stressed and just wanted to listen, that cared about your plans and your goals and your future, wanted to know about your friends and what you like to do. Imagine a mum that wanted to play on that PlayStation with you. And if this feels like it would have had a different impact on you and your future, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to rewind it to your earliest memory as a child. And then I want you to imagine stepping into that version of you as a child. Feel what it would feel like to be a young boy. Maybe catch a reflection of yourself in the mirror to see how young you looked. You didn't know too much about the world. How you perceived the world was through the lens of your own personal experiences. But in this alternative reality, I want you to imagine an early memory of affection, connection. Really feel that someone was there for you. Feel the feeling of being hugged, embraced, cuddled just as a young boy. And scan your body for where any emotions feel like they might be storing something that needs to be released. And give permission to yourself to release whatever needs to be released in whichever way it needs to be released. Sometimes that's just an acknowledgement that you're letting go. Sometimes it can feel that you're releasing something in your outward breath. Sometimes it's in a movement, sometimes it's in a tear. I want you to imagine still in that body of a child, but you get older. And remember a time where you were going through a tough moment. Maybe you didn't have anyone to talk to. But in this reality, I want you to imagine your mother notices that something doesn't look right in you. Maybe they say, "Tell me what's going on. I'm here for you." Hear the words that you are loved. See the face of this mother you know, but having had a different childhood, a different experience, she's different. I want you to feel a bond, a connection between you, that it feels that you're there for her and she's there for you. And just feel like you can share what happened when you're going through that tough moment. And look at the facial expressions, the eye contact, the caring kindness in those eyes. She wants to understand. She's making an effort to understand. She's listening and she's understanding. And she doesn't have to fix the problem. They say, a problem shared is a problem halved. But somehow it helps just to feel like you've got someone who's got your back. Someone that really cares about you. Someone that you can talk to. And just within your imagination, when you feel like you've told her what you needed to tell her, give her a hug and feel the tightness of her arms around you as you feel the hug being reciprocated. And just hold that hug. I want you to get a feeling of safety, reassurance, stability. Tap into that feeling within you where you feel understood. You feel recognized, accepted. You feel valuable and worthy. And when your unconscious mind is happy that you're connecting these feelings to what you would have needed back then, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to go forwards in time. When boys get older, there's more scrapes, more troubles. Feel what it feels like to be able to talk. You've got someone that wants to listen. You've got someone that if they can help, they will help. And again, I want you to notice where in your body it feels like an emotion is trapped. Create an image in your mind of things being unlocked, boxes, doors. All these things are being unlocked, enabling whatever needs to be released to be released. Feel the energy leaving your body. Go through time to whatever moment happened in your childhood that you needed your mother the most. But in this reality, you get what you need. In this reality, you are understood. You are supported. You are encouraged. Someone is there for you. And when you feel that whatever needed to happen has happened now, to release the emotions, and those emotions could be anger. The anger of why wasn't my mother there for me? Or the shame. Why couldn't I have had a mother like someone else? Or embarrassment, or frustration. I want you to scan your body for all those emotions you had, but they're not needed in this reality. And when you feel like it's time to let these emotions go, nod your head and give yourself permission to let those emotions go. I want you to feel a weight being lifted from your shoulders, a heaviness lifted from your chest, and a knot being unknotted in your gut. Whatever needed to be released is being released. At whatever pace and speed is what your body needs. And I want you to accept that as changes take place in this reality, changes also take place in your present reality. As one part of your life is healed, it means the symptoms are no longer necessary. I want you to imagine going forwards in time to a time when you started having health issues. Maybe you're a young adult at this point, and yet your mother is still there to listen, to care. She's taking the time to understand, to learn. And I want you to imagine hearing the words in your mother's voice. Tell me what's going on. I'm here for you. Hear that she's telling you that she loves you, that she wants to understand you. She wants to know what you're going through, what you're struggling with. She wants to understand you. I want you to see the facial expressions on her face as genuine concern. Not worry for the sake of worry, but worry because you're important and you matter. The son she thought she would never have. She feels sad because you are unhealthy. But what if healing this relationship of the past, updating perceptions, letting go of trapped emotions, help you to heal in the present? And if your unconscious mind is now ready to heal, ready to make progress, to let go of those trapped emotions, and give yourself a body that is healthy, balanced, that you can let go of toxic emotions, but you can let go of all toxicity in your life. And if it feels like it's now the time to do that, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to feel it happening. Not just want it to happen, but feel it happening. Maybe it's a process that takes a few seconds, maybe it takes a few minutes, but give permission to your body to let go. The beliefs that are holding you back, the fears that are holding you back, those insecurities, the blocks, the toxicity, let go of it all. And when you feel like it's left your body, that you can then truly start the process of healing, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to imagine this is an alternative reality. But if you heal in this alternative reality, although we can't change the past in your timeline, we can change your body's response based on an alternative timeline. That a butterfly effect gets created. That just one or two changes in your childhood ripple through time all the way to the present. Scientists once figured out that something as small as the wings of a butterfly in a rainforest in the Amazon could create storms in the Sahara Desert. And I wonder what small changes can take place in your past that create powerful, profound changes in your present. And if your unconscious mind feels that you've identified and made those changes that will have a profound butterfly effect in your life, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine that we're going to test this. As in this Tesseract, we can move to any point in time, and I want you to imagine going forwards in time to a year from the present day. And you're talking to a specific woman, a woman that comes to mind. And notice that you feel different in how you're talking, how you're breathing, what your body language is. That it certainly seems that the changes of the past have affected all the way up to the present and beyond into your future. But I also want you to notice that you feel different in your gut, different in your body. That a lot of things have changed in your body now. You feel healthier, happier, more aligned, more connected. That you've let go of those things that were holding you back and are now making progress towards a future that you desire. And I want you to hear the words from whatever woman is in front of you that comes to mind, that she also says, tell me what's going on. Just a phone call away. I'm here for you. If you need anything, just ask. And somehow it feels that the emotion has changed. That whereas before there were triggers, now they're just words. Because everything that needed to be released has been released. And if your unconscious mind is happy that the changes that you've made in the past will now take away all those symptoms of those things that you don't need anymore, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose and feel like you're returning fully to the present as the Tesseract turns into a cube, the cube turns into a square, the square turns into a straight line, and the straight line disappears. Feel like you're in your body as you wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. feeling like you're now firmly in the present, a three-dimensional person in a three-dimensional world, no longer able to move backwards and forwards in time, but taking all the wonderful changes from now how you think about the past into your present and beyond, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.